Okay, this story comes from Samantha Master at The Root, and this is a follow up story for a piece I did some days back on Georgetown, and it's trying to find the descendants of 272 slaves that were sold to give them some advantage in tuition. So, Georgetown University owes the descendants of the enslaved Africans who built and sustained its institution all of its $1.5 billion endowment and then some. On September 1st, the university formally announced plans to grapple with its history of being founded by slave owners and financed by slave labor, including the sale of 272 enslaved people in 1838, a sale that saved the university from financial ruin. Yes, it did. In a half-hearted attempt at contrition, Georgetown is creating an institute on the study of slavery and its legacy, commissioning a memorial to honor the 272 people sold and renaming two of the buildings named after presidents who facilitated their sale. The university also said it would locate the descendants of those enslaved and sold persons and offer them preferential treatment in admissions. Some news outlets are heralding the move as a bold step towards how historic institutions can acknowledge their slavery enmeshed anti-black foundations. But the gesture seems quite frankly like bullshit, so to speak. Okay, and this is why. So, in a statement to the university, Georgetown University President John J. DeGoyer wrote that the preferential admissions process would give descendants the same considerations we give members of the Georgetown community in the admissions process. This solution appears to offer the descendants of people enslaved by Georgetown stewards little more than a few extra points to boost their application. Despite the ecstatic response to this insulting plan of action, this is not a reparations packet, not even close. The 272 slaves sold by the Georgetown University president Thomas Mulledy for $115,000 would equate to roughly $3.3 million US dollars today. Using that purchase as a baseline, at least $50 billion would be owed to the descendants of the 12,000 to 15,000 enslaved people owned by the university's Jesuit priest. If Georgetown is authentically interested in reconciliation and atonement for its history, it should appropriate its $1.5 billion endowment to offer guaranteed admission for a path to admission, regardless of income or felony status. Full scholarships, including housing, computers, and books, and monthly stipends in perpetuity to the descendants of enslaved people whose labor and bodies built the university. Oh, how I agree. I'm glad somebody said this. Moreover, as a person whose ancestors were enslaved in Maryland and is very likely descendants of someone who worked on, interacted with, or came through plantations owned by Georgetown's Jesuit priests, I have questions. How does Georgetown plan to atone for the 12,000 to 15,000 enslaved Africans on their plantations before the 1838 sale? Right? What about those who were enslaved on neighboring plantations and hired out by Jesuit priests? Good point. How do you account for those who were raped and bore children that were sold off? Oh, wow. Can those gifted to others within or outside of the church be considered for preferential treatment? How would you identify all of those impacted by this slave sale when slave records and bills of sale are notoriously difficult to track? And how would they lay claim to their inheritance? I'll wait. Yeah, me too, Queen. Furthermore, any person bearing African ancestry in this country is impacted by the racial terrorism born out of the system of slavery that Georgetown perpetuated. All of us deserve acknowledgement and atonement, and not just the descendants of 272. There is no way that Georgetown or any institution with its roots in slavery can execute a program like this with integrity and accuracy. At present, no reliable way exists to track the descendants of the people enslaved at these plantations. This is not an avenue to abdicate responsibility or complicity, and this doesn't mean don't try. It means try harder. I agree completely. So, my name is Urima Karama. If you want to hear more news and get more information and updates, please subscribe to at yourblackworld.net My name is Yurima Karame at Your Black World News.